record now.
Oh, okay. So
But
in
yeah.
Cape Town, it's much more of a casual thing when I moved up. So if you come, especially in the south, so the south and north have the two distinguished, like the two completely different people. It's like one big Utnik and one big and I don't mean anything on Utnik people. I stay in the north, but it's like two complete different people. It's like they're not in the same city. And then the moment I started chilling a bit more with him, and then I started realizing like the swearing is not really as serious because
in
we
Cape Town.
from Cape Town.
My
Because
bro.
where I'm from, in P, I know if something starts with your mother or father.
As baklei,
Los my mali.
As baklei.
You can swear me, but leave my mother out of it.
Jy gaat 'n potlood in jou nek kry. Jy praat van my ma. Jy
Yeah,
wow.
nee.
Dude, I still feel that way, but I never exposed myself to people that were that fucking wild. But I've seen bras get stabbed because of your ma.
Yeah, we come from
Die
P.
baie die bra.
I always say, I used to laugh at that joke you used to make about the shoot someone now this weekend, and then next weekend we all back there.
You remember
That's
which
exactly
club?
the
That's
same.
Godfather.
Exactly the
That
same.
was Godfather,
Radis was
I
the same thing.
As
And
no
I'm from 24. I went to Triumph or so. So I was behind Ladies and I went to the matinees and all of that stuff. And that is where I actually started. Ladies and Clubhouse.
Yes.
My journey of DJing and stuff. And Western Community Center.
Ladi das. Wait,
nice.
I'm trying to find this so we can start properly because you're already kicking off with Ladis. Yo, wat gaan aan nie so? Technology is going on me.
You going on technology?
Oh gosh. Oh wait, here's the notes. Oh, that's Clint L. Quite. So, ladies and gentlemen, today is a very special one because both of us are basically. Kyk, ek's van Hankie, but it's very near P, and I went to school in P, so it's bynaars wat praat. So we're gonna say P a couple of times by accident. We know it's Gqeberha, right? But welcome, Clint L.
What's happening?
Clint L. Listen, my bro, this is you hear already.
Yeah.
So the whole accent and demeanor has changed.
Nah, it's
Today,
fun.
people are gonna find out why. What we really are is we're not Cape Townian
No, we're not.
and we're not from Joburg. No. There is a different culture that happens in the Eastern Cape.
No.
There's accent already.
There's only when there resonates between the two by now. Yeah.
Verstaan jy? Jy gaan hoor soos kou en boue.
Yeah,
You know, those are the things that
I must now take the nine out now. I can't say nine now. I must say nah.
No, bro.
No, bro.
So listen, you started. Actually, people know very little about you, which is on purpose, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. Like we spoke now in the kitchen.
Yeah.
I think it's so difficult to distinguish between the two, especially because entertainment is very social.
Yes.
People can get to know that side of you.
Yeah.
But I still try to keep the personal and business side, although it's very difficult.
Yeah.
But I try to keep that two completely away from each other.
Separated.
Yeah, separated. Yeah.
But I think you can achieve that with being a DJ to a large degree. I sort of have I have to give a lot more of myself
Yeah, no,
for them to have
definitely.
context in my life. So I share a lot more than what you would.
Yeah.
But I think that there are sacred things. You know what I mean? Like I don't put my kids out on social media. I did with the eldest one, but now I've stopped. But you're right. There has to be something that's left for yourself. But you are actually extremely private.
Yeah, most definitely. The thing is, number one, I'm a DJ. So
Yeah.
I'm there for me to play music for you and to keep you entertained and dancing, whether it's on YouTube. I have a bit of it's a bit different because I don't speak. So people kind of create their own perspective of how I should be because they watch me on YouTube weekends, the family and stuff, and they kind of feel like this is how I should be or that is how I should be. And then when they meet me and I'm not like that, it's kind of disappointing for them. But at the end of the day, look, it's really, I'm there to play the music for you guys and to keep you guys entertained.
100%.
Anything further than that is extension of what I'm actually supposed to be doing, you know.
Yeah, I get it. Mina, even when people meet me, I can see them taken aback because they expect the guy they saw on the internet. Now, I'm really the person you see on the internet, but me and your relationship isn't there.
Exactly.
Verstaan jy? Ek kan mos nie nou all of a sudden net chommies as my own.
Definitely.
I have never seen you before. And so as much as I try, there's going to be a level of formality between us because we don't know each other like that. So it's just it's part of what it is.
Yeah.
The reality, I want to go back to, first and foremost, a lot of my audience members that may not know who you are because you're in the club scene. My people are grown-ups, remember, was a groot mense hier so. Clint L is a very popular South African DJ. And I think your claim to fame is that you're an R&B DJ.
Yes,
We'll
sir.
get into that later. I just wanted to set context. From Gqeberha originally,
Yeah.
moved to Cape Town. Where in P you from, you say?
I'm from East Park, 24.
He's from
It's
24.
from the
My
northern
aunt used to live
areas.
in 24.
Born and bred. Went to Triumphant Primary School and Bethelsdorp Comprehensive High School.
From
I'm
BD?
from government all the way.
That's most BD.
Yeah, BD, yeah.
Man,
I
bro.
want make it sound nice myself.
Hi, bro, from BD, man.
Yeah, nah,
Yo.
but I've been government all the way. My dad was
okay.
at, my dad was a lecturer at Dawa, then he went to IKEA. I
Yeah.
went there, so I've been in the government system.
Dude.
Didn't do well, don't get me wrong, but I've been there.
I also went through the government
Yeah,
system.
yeah.
I went to a fancier government system in my high school days, but I went from public.
What high school with?
Andrew Rabi.
Andrew Rabi.
Do you know it?
Oh, very
The one there by
Afrikaans.
Greenacres?
Yeah, no, definitely. So
That's
Leah
the
and
one.
Andrew Rabi is most close to each. No, Andrew Rabi is by Greenacres, so Leah's at the bottom by Kempston Road.
That's
But
right.
yeah,
yes. Yes.
Sorry.
Lots of P references. That's fine. So, okay. So, you from 27...
24.
24.
24.
Sorry. Yeah. It's a very
I
different
was
world.
27, I think.
It's
26
further
is
off.
Aspenites. 27 is hard. Look, I don't know if you noticed how the extensions are so weird in PE, especially in the northern areas. You get 21, you get 28, or 20, like you say, 27, and it's 32.
Dude, wanneer jy oor hy brug gaan,
Ja.
Bethelsdorp toe. As jy oor hy brug gaan, dan verloor jy my. Jy verloor my. Iemand anders moet my vat.
No,
Ek is
that
weg.
I was born and bred there. Like, I only started, obviously, from the era where we're from.
Yeah.
And until about 15, 16, the mix-it was out and stuff. But before that, I only saw Clary Park. Now and then, my mom would take it to Greenacres for spa, for your birthday, or iets soos dat. But I only saw Greenacres. The music we heard, and we will speak about this later, but the music we heard was from the taxis we took.
Yeah, sweepers.
Sweepers, yeah. We never had any other access to it. And whatever MP3s you bought, or CDs, audio CDs actually at the time before it became MP3.
Yes.
Yeah, it's crazy. We never had access to internet, Channel O. I never had that. So Channel O used to come on SABC 1.
Yes. At a certain time.
At a certain time, yeah. That was the access we had.
I'm 11 years older than you. So it's it's a huge skip, but a lot of that stuff is similar.
Look, I think from my sister's so 9 years, so you're
Yeah.
82.
I'm 82.
82, my
So it's
sister's 84, yeah, 9,
Yeah.
yeah. So I obviously grew up, she looked after me,
Yes.
my mom, them were working and stuff, so I got to experience a lot, and I think that's where the music I come. Because if you look at the music I play, it's not necessarily my time's music. That's
No.
early 2000s and late 90s.
Absolutely.
So that is more resonates more with your
My generation.
generation, you know. And yeah, so I took from out to better people. And okay, I don't know if you want to ask me about this.
No,
later.
wait.
You know the cave in Selsonieville?
The cave.
The cave used to be a tavern. Shabin Tavern.
Shabin, no, I didn't know it.
So that used to be like a very popular tavern, Shabin in Selsonieville.
Yes.
And my uncle them owned that, and my dad them used to they used to bartend there. So bartending on weekends, and I'll sleep there and listen to everything. That's how I know your Eddie Grants and your Volvier and them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Volvieren was in PE now recently.
I was supposed to play, but there was some sort of miscommunication between
Yeah,
the promoters.
you know Sippy. Sippy was on the lineup. Sippy, DJ Sippy. This is a friend of mine. He also opens for me. He lives in like. But anyway, he was on the Volvieren thing. I was very proud of him. But now the thing is, how does so your upbringing is very public school. Like when you say you know mostly Clary Park, all that, that makes so much sense for people that are coming from Port Elizabeth. But for people that live here or in Joburg, basically what you're saying is that you predominantly grew up in colored neighborhoods.
My culture.
Yeah,
Yeah,
your
that
people.
is full on culture.
Yeah.
You would all know, and I think I can explain to the people. In P, we were segregated to where the
Yes.
full colored area was just in one side. Like in Cape Town, you get one colored area here, then you get a white area, and then you get a location like that. In P, we were segregated. The northern areas was just for the colored people.
All the way.
All the way.
People
so,
were, there was also obviously the whole land redistribution stuff afterwards, but people were moved from South
End, all that
the way
places,
down. Yeah.
Oh,
So so you finish school, how does one, because PE is a house scene as far as I understand.
no, it's
Maar bro,
definitely-
there is nothing. I've been around the world. Let me tell you, daar is niks vir 'n baie se house party. Daar is niks. Hulle weet van niks.
Nah, houses, yeah.
Dude, I came up when I was young when it was. You spoke about a Shabina the other day. Ons het gegaan Julian's toe.
Julian's, yeah, 1 for 7.
I never drove in. I never. Julian's,
One for
and
seven,
then and then it was Godfather, it was Ladi Das, it was
Weren't you around the Raz or so?
Razzmatazz in
Extreme.
town. Oh, Extreme, yes,
Extreme.
Extreme. And it was that time. So it was Easy E, the House Cats,
Klebo.
Klebo, Superfire, Super.
This, yo, I can
Super,
name them all
he
for
knows,
there you
we're
go.
friendly. So Bra I used to say,
you
yeah, Super sing a yellow song of hell. Tonight.
Nah, they did get into DJ by
Mr.
J.
Shakes.
Mr.
Mr.
Shakes.
Shakes spans over generations.
Nah, that is, so I'm originally a house DJ. I
Okay.
came into, I only started playing R&B. Look, I was able to play R&B, but coming up, I think, like you say, P was just infested with house.
Yeah.
Like we had from techno house, we had the Vimos, the JBs.
Vimo.
You know, we had so much potential, and then obviously in my era, the new school guys, that time they called
Yeah.
the new school guys, we had seen Munich,
Yes. Yes.
Robin Muniz,
Yes.
Ben Penabi is still obviously now
Penabi,
around.
very nice guy.
No,
Very
my
nice
number
guy.
one,
Yo,
yeah,
bra,
my
yeah.
guy, yeah. Cello, Chadwick Gallant, Dean, yeah, that was kind of my elders in the industry
Yeah.
when I came up, because Klibo them were already gone that time.
Ja, Klibon is 'n groot mense man.
Klibo is but they were the guys that was running
main
it.
ones.
You know, they were the main guys. So
Yeah, the main
obviously
ones.
you started different blocks, and at
Yes.
that time the guys I could access were, and all of that guys I mentioned now, they from also
Yeah.
from the bridge side, basically, so Sonyville,
Yes.
that side, yeah.
How does a kid come out of school? How did you get into DJing? Because it's quite an expensive thing, you know, like coming from our neighborhoods, you don't like. There's a couple of DJs, but it was always a very expensive exercise. Like especially, like just getting your fingers on CDJs was a tough situation.
So I was 17, grade 11. I lie. End of grade 10 to grade 11.
Yeah.
I found the interest in it. I went my first time really out to a place. Like I told you, I was stuck in Clubhouse in Laris at that time.
Yeah.
So I went to Newton Park that time, and it was called Swimming Cafe.
Yeah.
And seen Danny's birthday there. And then I went there as a consumer.
Yeah.
And I went there and I just found this interest in music actually. And with my music knowledge, obviously,
Yeah.
of coming from how I grew up, and my
Yeah.
mom and dad, them loving music, and my sister loving music. And then I just found the interest in it. And then I remember my birthday is now in April. And this was 17. The next year I was now grade 11. And I asked my dad, can you just buy me a mixer? Because at the time, look, it wasn't about CDJs and stuff. It was just about playing music. So
Yeah.
all the house parties used to go to used to be a DJ with a laptop.
Yeah.
Sometimes a mixer,
Yeah.
but most of the time used to be a laptop, because
Yeah.
the bar wasn't high. We from the wood,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So we just need someone to play music. And I asked him for that. And I slowly started getting into it. And then in Palm Ridge, I had friends that had this Jepson ones, to buy the Cash Crusaders.
Yes. Yes.
The one deck one.
Yes. Yes.
That's
Yes.
the most horrible things to play
Yes,
on.
yes,
And then we got taught on that, or we taught ourselves on that basically. But kind of coming from virtual DJ, understanding BPM and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then obviously now getting to know Scene, and Scene was, I won't say fortunate enough, but Scene at least had 200s and a decks, and he was very open. He was the one that actually opened his place to us, and he should be on an ironing board in his room, I'll never forget. And then, because obviously Scene's brothers, 4-7 is Neil and Munich or so.
Yes.
And then Neil was 2 years younger than me, and then we just all kind of, as a collective, not me alone, myself, we were another guy, Pretty, Pena, we all just came as a collective together in Basin, and just, I used to just kind of watch them play and feed off that and understand the music there, but predominantly house.
Predominantly house.
Just house, basically, let me say it like that.
So the only disconnect between me and you would be that I left PE in 2008, and you talking about around 2007,
2009.
Yeah,
That's
so
when
you
I started the scene.
started.
Yeah.
And then I remember my sister was still down there, and then your guys, Munich's name came up.
Yeah.
And then there was this bubbling under of new names coming through the system.
Yeah.
And also, I remember in a town, and I was friends to a degree with Earl, and like, not friends, but like we acquaintances, we knew each other well. There's a lot of politics in a small ecosystem like that.
But the preps you for now, like, as much as I've been through that politics, now this politics I'm going through now. I'm already prepped for it.
Is it worse?
No, it's same
thing.
Because that time was the people who knew speaking shit about you.
Yeah.
That's now the social medias, now there's people, keyboard warriors and stuff. You don't need to worry about them.
Yeah.
Back in the day, it was actually people that you knew that greeted you yesterday, and they're going around speaking shit about you.
Yeah, because but that's also that that mentality of there isn't enough to go around. That feeling of, it's almost like a famine thinking.
You know, and
Not realizing that the world is big, there's space.
but I think we also need to understand, and I don't try to justify how people think, but I always say it. It's the same like gangsterism. Like we try to say don't do gangsterism, but we give them nothing else to do.
Yeah.
We tell them come off the streets, but we give them nothing else to do. Nothing is happening within our culture and within our areas. I speak Cape Town, I speak Josie, I speak PE.
Yeah.
If you look at the colored areas, nothing new is coming up. They're not investing in our areas. So we're telling our children not to be gangsters, but you're giving them nothing else to do.
Yeah.
Same with opportunity again.
Yeah.
There's so little opportunity for our colored people that when there is something, we feel like we need to compete for it.
That's true.
You know, and I'm not trying to justify that.
No,
but
but
I understand where they're coming from.
It's completely a thing in poor neighborhoods all over the world. It's the same thing when there isn't enough. So you become protective and jealous, and
Yeah,
you
man.
know, and it's not a good space. You're right. And so you came out of high school, straight started DJing, or did you go to?
I was always been like in PE DJing was like you say.
Yeah.
We don't know much people. Like we never really had as much in Gqeberha and Easy them were the guys.
Yeah.
They also never got the opportunities to get to the big stages and stuff. You know,
Yes.
the ultras and all of that stuff.
Yes.
So we never really at your household that was not a job.
Yeah.
You with
No.
this leave stuff of partying every
Jy moet
weekend.
borster in
And then
hier.
study.
Yeah, jy gaan study.
Yeah. So I moved to Cape Town 2012, just for a year.
Yeah.
To come study, I was at in Thornton studying at Cape Town College. Started a year, messed around here, went back home, messed around at home, so didn't really have some sort of direction. Normal colored lighting.
Yeah.
You know, worried about dropping cars and
Yeah.
that's just normal colored, normal, because of
There's a ton of those stories.
yes, no, definitely. That's why
Come from
when I
good
say
homes.
it,
Okay, so together. Just like this aimlessness because you know that this thing isn't for you. But you haven't found the thing that does work.
you
for
don't.
You.
And it's not something. It's not a special story. Like you say,
No,
there's
it's
plenty of people that's done it. So I've never really had until I started first rewinding back when I started DJing. I never had a place to play. I used to play clubhouse. Ash the Bash,
Ash
my
the
mentor.
Bash.
Like he was
Ash
a
the
family
Bash.
friend of us.
Ash the Bash has used to plays my shows. You know that? He does the sound for my
Now you
shows.
can ask him, Ashley Cameron.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not
And his
like
brother.
TC was before my time.
So TC, Ash the Bash, and I just said now Sippy.
Soppy. If I see Soppy,
All
I'll
of those
surely know him.
Owens are my go-to people when I need sound in PE.
Yeah, no,
Those are the
TC.
guys.
Nah,
And
that
then
is the guys.
obviously now when you outside of the boardwalk, at the boardwalk you always
Uncle
have Cheesy,
Uncle
right?
Cheesy, yeah.
But they all know each other. And those guys have been very kind to me. Like in COVID times, when I came just out the gate, I called Sippy, and that time I didn't really know Sippy that well. And we put sound together. And then my father knew TC, because TC is a groot man.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean? Thomas Cameron. And he came and looked at, because him and Sippy are close, and he went, "Die sound is reggie." And out of his own
You just
heart came and fixed the problems and helped us. And he continues to help me today. When I had problems here in Cape Town, hey my bro, my mixer, die ou se mixer blaas, die sound is nie reggie. Ek bel vir TC sê, koop, daar sien hy 2 altos wat daar bo staan. Koop 2 alto 350 I's en koop 'n MG06. Go, I know nothing about sound. But that time I had to do my own sound.
Yeah.
Because it was now,
you had to.
those guys helped us. And what I do like about that community in Port Elizabeth, that they do take care of. They take care of you.
Yeah.
If you're
And
from there, they do take
we
care of
speak
you. Those
always-
are ones to have been taking care of me.
And it's a thing always, and I know I also get trapped in it, that we always like to speak about how small-minded PE is and how they like to kind of trick you off. That's only a selected few. Like
Yeah.
if you look at that gold mines that you have, they like the TCs and the Ash and like the Chasey them. That's the people that actually got, and same story. Ash was the first one. I used to play by his golden oldies at Western Community Center. That was
he
the
still
first
has it.
one. Yeah, that was the first man that actually gave me that. Obviously, from the cave, so Ash used to be at the cave, and that's how
Yeah.
he's really good friends with my cousin, Crystal. They used to own it, so that's how I got into it and all of that. And Ash used to give me his CDJs also now and then if I have to play. So, long story short, people like that, they are those people that kind of get you on that path and kind of just guide you. Small guidance, yeah, and there, you know. And you still remember it up to this day.
100%. You know what's important about this conversation is that people from PE, like the people that we just mentioned now, Earl, Gqeberha, Vimo, Superfire, TC, all these guys,
It's
Ash.
too much.
There's so many of them. These people are the shoulders these are the guys that built this thing so that we could learn and move up. We stand on the shoulders of these people. But they aren't, you know, in PE you don't get celebrated like.
No, you don't.
Dude, here in Cape Town, we talk about legends. To us, like Earl and them are legends.
No, definitely.
But if you're a legend in Cape Town or in Joburg, your name goes further just because of the commercials being a bit bigger. So it's nice to hear your story because you've transcended out of Port Elizabeth, which is a very difficult thing to do. Let's be fair. You and Earl are probably the only two people that I know that went, listen, we're gonna stick it out here and we make it out of PE. The three of us are, if I put myself into that mix, are the only. There's a couple more, I'm sure. But that has sort of grown audiences in different cities. It's an extremely rare thing for us.
Yeah, no,
which is sad because there's so much talent.
But I think that's why we should continue doing what we're doing, you know. I think for all, the biggest thing for me, and all obviously doesn't know it because I don't get to speak as often as all. I was my senior in high school. He was also at BD. That time he was in acting. He was rapping, but when I came to school, he was
early B, by the way.
Early B, yeah, sorry. But to see him, obviously, he went. Like, he didn't stop. From the get-go, from when he left school, he continued to push and he serves everything he has now at the moment.
100%.
But he was that guy for me.
Yeah.
To show me that, look, it's bigger than, because he's from down.
He's from down.
He had to say at the bottom, mommy. He actually comes from, when you look at 24, at the moment, 24 was messed up.
Yeah.
But that time, 24 was much more well sought after area compared to the down. And for me, and I don't mean anything by it, but just for someone that came from the Dal at the time that is pushing, and I'm sitting here not knowing what to do in my life, that just kind of inspired me. And then the moment I got some sort of this direction of I can go further with this, that was the first person I looked at to understand and look at this, but I took it.
Yeah. And I gotta take my hat off for all. I made it in Joburg. Started a new job, started comedy in Johannesburg. I'm really a product of Johannesburg comedy. There was no comedy in Port Elizabeth, and I can't claim anything that I have sort of started my own gigs there. But Earl stuck it out in PE.
And still ripping.
Stuck it out in PE.
People still think I'm from Cape Town. But with all, everybody knows. Earl's from PE, is van Italië.
It's funny, and he rips it.
He rips it. And that is something that, and we're not saying that we now obviously changed our identity, but we had to adapt with what we had at the moment.
The lay of the land.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it's nice that we mention these people's names that have contributed to our development. Then, what I really wanted to get at, because I wanted to talk to you about the business of events, because I spoke to you, the first time we had a quick real conversation was at the airport.
Yeah.
Because my brother and you cut hair at the same place.
Yes.
We waved past each other. I was extremely impressed with just the very short conversation. Immediately the lights went on for me. I was like, oh, I can see why he's successful. Is that there's a very clear direction in terms of the way you do your business. And let's be honest, that there's a lot of talented people out there, but the thing that keeps people going is the business.
The business side of it.
And I've seen you on other places talk about our expense, and you're very open about how expensive these things are. How did you get into events? Because first of all, what was the journey there? How did you manage to build the collateral to do these 350,000 rand shows before the Clint L brand? Because if I understand correctly, it was before Clint L, the brand of you was big. You were actually promoting shows.
So we started, became a time, obviously we knew what P was at the time. And then P just started to take this slow dip. As DJs itself, we realized, and as a consumer. Because I pride myself. As long as I'm a DJ, I'm a consumer.
Yeah.
I've been a consumer.
Yep.
I've been watching what is going on, whether it's in clubs or whatever. I've been out. I'm a very social person when it comes to that. Me and my friend group. So we've always been out, and we we weren't popular, but we were very well known in PE. And then some of my friends were doing events. Like I think I got sidetracked just now, but I started events because I didn't have places to do when I was younger. That me and Xene used to do the events together, and then we just finished. I can't remember why. Oh, but I need to go start and moved. Sorry, I moved to Cape Town.
Yeah.
And then I just started. The DJing thing was a kind of a sideline. I'll play every once a month maybe. And then I started 2016, 2017. I started with playing every 3 months and then playing twice a year. Like it was
Because you couldn't get gigs.
There wasn't gigs.
Okay.
Well, there was no social scene.
Yeah, in PE specifically.
In PE specific. Now, at that time, I'm just speaking
Yeah.
PE. It wasn't really. We weren't coming to Cape Town. We weren't coming to Josie. We weren't even doing shifts at the time. you
Really?
know?
And just to be clear, you at this time already transitioned into playing solely R&B.
Still
Not
house
even yet.
DJ.
Still house DJ.
Still house DJ. But we transitioned to the commercial side with the DJ Kents and all of that
Yeah.
stuff. So I was from the heavy house that we used to come from, that we spoke about. Then we transitioned to the commercial house. That time Kent was a very big thing.
Yes,
The Ultimixes at 6 and all that stuff.
And now you're on the lineups with Kent. You got
that is
posters.
crazy, bro.
Wow.
Like I think he's
That
we'll
dude
speak
is
about
a
it.
doctor.
That if you speak business
Yeah.
and you speak about understanding where you are, that man. Obviously, I loved him and as a supporter and consumer, but now I'm getting to see the side of how he actually does business.
Yes.
And I'm so like, I wish I can be like that. And
Yeah.
obviously, I try to
Yeah.
push myself to get into that space because when he is there for one thing only, and he's there to play for his people. It's not that they can't socialize, it's not there to make friends. You can see he has enough friends, he has enough everything already. I'm there to do my job and I'm leaving, but I'm not rude about it. I'm not arrogant about it.
Yeah.
I'm just there what you paid me for to do.
Yeah.
I get myself here, I get myself home. I don't drink. I don't want crazy riders, 2 waters.
I've worked with
That's it.
Kent. He won't remember
Amazing
this.
person.
Dude is a pro, man.
Bro.
DJ Kent is not just a pro. He's probably one of the best producers and house music DJs
I think he's
I've
the best
ever heard.
Best ever.
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 Doesn't speak much. Also, the most important accolade is my son's favorite DJ. Because there's a DJ Kent CD stuck in my car. So we play a thing on loop. And he smacks
Which album is it? The Weekend?
It's the one before the
I
Weekend.
Can't Survive.
Yes.
I Can't Survive.
Brah, loves that. Ethan knows.
That's crazy.
Hit me with a Kent.
DJ Kent,
He says it, Kent. I had to show him a picture of Kent. But anyway, we go back, we digress. So at the time, just go back to the story about how you...
So then we started this thing called Sip and Chill. It's the mother brand of everything, whatever.
Did you
happens
start
goes.
Sip and Chill?
So myself.
Yeah.
And we were that time, like I said, we were quite a few guys that chill together. And as naturally we said, okay, let us all start something, man.
Yeah.
It wasn't for business side, it was just for us to get
Yeah.
back up and at least let me start DJing to people and stuff.
Yeah.
Started Sip and Chill, and we kind of realized at the time I was busy with BMW technician at Continental Cars.
Oh, you were working?
I was working, yeah.
Parents happy with us, Jay. Werk nou.
Not me. I come home every day moody.
Of
So
course.
getting up
Yeah.
at 6, coming home at 6, I hated it.
Yeah.
Like, I hated it. And the first Sip and Chill event we done was good. We had like 200 people. The second one doubled, 400 people. And from the second one, I was like, I think we have something here.
Yeah.
And me looking for an excuse to leave my job. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to throw myself in the deep end now. I
How
don't
does your
have
parents
dependents.
take that?
My
Was it
parents
tough?
and my sister's my second mother. Like my sister's 9 years older than me.
Yeah.
Like I said, she used to look after me and stuff. So they weren't really not impressed with me. I didn't consult with anybody. I was just like, I'm done with this shit.
Steer the job.
And it was a typical corporate job. I don't want to get too much into it, but it was
it's
a
fine,
monopoly. And it always makes
Yeah.
you mad with the hierarchy and
Yeah.
them actually controlling everything that happens. And
Yeah.
it's not necessarily the job. It's the environment.
Yes.
Anyway, long story short, I leave it. And now Sip and Chill actually starts to grow feet and we're going on and starting to grow and grow, but it's practical. We're learning like we're
As you're
doing
going.
it as we're going on. So we're going on and we're doing well and everything's just going fine until COVID hit.
Yes.
And then it was like
Crashed.
crashed. Personally for me, obviously looking at it now, it was the best time because I needed to change as a person itself personally.
Yes.
I need to grow, and I think all of us as entertainers, we come with this, like I said just now, we spoke about the story that everybody's went through. I think the same thing with COVID.
Yeah.
There's no special story about it.
Yeah.
We all went down to a dark place.
Yeah.
We all got ourselves out there. That's
Yeah.
why we're sitting here at the moment, and we
Yeah.
all for ourselves to get ourselves out. We had to work on ourselves because it was
Yeah.
just you and your thoughts. Everybody's
friend-
getting up to go work. You lying here, bro.
My bro, in jou onderbroekie.
Yeah,
Heel
you
dag.
don't even list to a shower.
Nee,
you have
jy's in
no
'n gown.
You don't even need to.
I also came, same story, people know my story as well. It was, my success came out of COVID. I was doing okay. And then I was doing those videos for years. No one watched. COVID started and people had the time. So, but it was a very dark time because it was difficult to make any sort of income and I had debt up to my eyeballs.
That's why I always say, for my journey, it was much because I don't have dependents.
Oh,
For
man.
guys that have dependents,
I
I
had a
don't
lighty.
even want to understand, bro.
Dude.
Like, I don't understand. And you have whatever you had at the time, like, it's a crazy feeling. I wouldn't be able to. I don't know where I would have been now, but luckily for me, I did not have dependent. Only dependent was myself.
Yeah.
And that's that my mom had. She was still working. I was staying with my mom. It was
was
just
okay.
myself. It was
Yeah.
all right, yeah.
Yeah.
So I
Jy
don't
gaan
know
eet.
how, I don't know how
Jy
you
gaan
guys
eet.
done it, bro.
No, I mean, you find yourself in those positions, you'll be surprised how resilient you can be. But yeah, so, and then COVID happens, and then out of COVID,
The videos, YouTube videos starting.
the
Trying to be,
DJ.
I've always been innovative with
Yeah.
whatever I've done in life.
Yeah.
I've always been innovative, and the live stream started. First, before we started uploading it, we started doing live streams.
Okay. Were you doing that live stream on a Friday night?
Friday nights, me, Benna, Aipo, my very good friend, Social Aib.
But you don't make money out of those
No,
things.
that was, we done like, there was a small quick link we used to do for donations, but I
Yeah.
mean, we got like
It's really
1,000 rand.
a brand building exercise.
So it was more of kind of just kind of trying to keep, without the DJ side of it, just trying to keep Sip and Show above the rest.
Yes.
Because people weren't doing it. The big brands were doing like major, like even if you look at Major League themselves, they were doing all right until they started the balcony mix during COVID, the
Okay.
live streams,
Okay.
and they are now international sensations.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So kind of we are a much more smaller scale than what they are. So we also started that, and it was just to keep Sip and Show above the rest, and then that's where the whole Clint L thing started.
What I get from you is that, I went to school and I got all this, I've got a lot of business experience in corporates and in my father's business. But what I get from you is that you don't necessarily come from a family business background, but you got very good instincts. You got very good marketing instincts. I can pick that up because just to think about that at that time, because everyone wasn't doing that. People started doing it. It was starting to have a knock-on effect.
Yeah.
But to have built your brand in COVID, it was clever. It was clever because now,
But it wasn't planned.
yeah, just sort
It
of,
was like it's an instinct.
Yeah.
It was something that was just like, look, let us get videos out. And at that time, we weren't keeping videos up on YouTube. We were
Okay.
removing them after the live. Because we wanted people to be tuned in for next week Friday.
clever.
You know.
Again, it's an instinctual thing.
But then something happened. Like me and Benna, we still can't put our finger on him because Benna, we used to do the lives with Benna. Benna had the equipment and all that stuff. From a phone, man, from a
Yeah.
normal. And something happened where we just didn't remove this particular video of Clint L playing. Because we were in maybe our second month already. I've done all the house I could have done. I've done all the R&B I could have done. And something just told me, let me try oldies, man.
Yeah.
Let me try. And that is the one that went to Sweet Oldies 1.0. And because then we started seeing, because back in the day we were getting like 800, 900 views. And then that video was up for like 2-3 days and it was over like 2,000, 3,000 views.
Okay.
And then I think Ben said, or I said, I can't remember, but we were just like, let us leave it on and see exactly how much views we get.
Yeah.
And that thing just started. But at that time, 10,000 views was quite a bit. Like for me,
Yeah,
at 10,000, 15,000.
Coming
Look, it
from a
still
zero
is.
base.
It still is. And then it just left and started growing, but without me even knowing at that time.
Yeah.
And then the Clint L thing, like the moment I post Sweet Oldies 2.0, I posted Clint L event. But it was getting still like only 20, 30,000 views. I remember I still posted 2021 or 2021, I got 100,000 views. On
That's
that.
a lot.
That was like,
That is a lot.
I was like, wow.
When does the transition to R&B happen? Is it happen in
within
COVID?
Sip and Show,
Yeah.
because it wasn't really thinking about headlining, it was about, we always wanted, as the Sip and Show collective, we wanted to build a brand where people would trust the DJs that we bring on board. You know, we
Yes.
didn't want to build on a headliner. We didn't
Yeah.
only want you coming for, if you see Kent is playing or if you see
Yeah.
Caps is playing. We wanted you to entrust that the experience we built.
Yeah.
and understand it from this time to this time. So Super Show is still like that. We build a system of from point A to point B, this music will be played. That doesn't matter the DJ.
Yeah.
This music will play from B to C. This music will play. It's obviously a journey we want to take you through as an
Yes.
experience. And same
Yes.
with your jokes and when you do a
Okay.
special. You start with somewhere, you have a climax, and you take them down from that again. Just
Yes,
set
yes,
them up,
yes.
set them home,
Yeah.
you know. What was the one special now? The very what's the word?
Goffle.
No, yeah, no. I want to use the proper word for it, but I watched your whole special and I was like, yeah, this is how
Thank you.
exactly you ended a very this is a word I always use, man. When it's controversially.
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah,
you
yeah.
ended it very just to break the ice with
Yeah.
people understanding it, and that's how it is. And I resonated so much with it because before Clint, I obviously built my sets like that, but when we started as an event organizer, that's how you build it.
Yeah.
It's an experience you want to sell, so
Yes.
you can't be climaxing right through.
Yeah.
So you can't start the climax now and then keep
Yeah.
rolling this down. So just watching your special, it was my first special I actually watched of you,
Oh.
it was really something that was likable because it resonates throughout the industry. Whether it's stand up, whether it's DJing, it's
Yeah.
something like that.
Thanks, man. Thanks for watching.
No, definitely.
So my thing is that you now the brand is building. It's liquor. It's online, right? You guys are still going through these tough times.
Yeah.
How do you scrape the money together to then get to, because now sip and chills are 2,000 people. There are bars. There are shape tents. It's moving from city to city. It's an expensive exercise. Coming from a guy that understands event. I think I told you this.
Yeah.
I try and keep my overhead as low as possible. So when I go, it's bare essentials, and I only have the people that will move the needle for me. But with what you do, you have to create a fuller experience because people are there for a longer period of time. It's not just a theater where
Yes,
they
yes,
come
yes,
and
yes.
sit down. It's benches and tables, and those things don't come cheap. How do you then transition from this online thing that you and Benna and them built to 2,500 people at the bar?
So sorry, I got sidetracked even now just now, but the R&B thing came from when I had to play the opening set, so I had to play, because R&B wasn't the headlining set. I'm a piano and house was still the headlining set for Super Show. So I started to play the opening set. I really enjoyed it. Up to this day, I think I done it in Dubai now when I was there. I played an opening set also, where it's much more enjoyable to bring people from the seat up to the dance floor. I enjoy it much more.
Yeah.
Instead of, look, I enjoy it. I'm playing for the masses and coming to a full floor and all that stuff. But just the building of it, it's a much better journey to tell.
Yes. It's more satisfying.
It's more satisfying for me.
Yeah.
You know? So long story short, so then COVID happens. COVID starts opening up slowly but surely. Still focusing on the Sip and Show thing. Clint L's that Sweet Oldies 1.0 and 2.0 is getting views. Sweet Oldies is getting views because Sweet Oldies was the one that actually transitioned me over.
Are these
for the
now
views.
accounts or?
No, so it's Clint L, the mix's name. It's just
Oh, on
oldies, Sweet
YouTube.
Oldies on
Yeah,
YouTube.
yeah.
And they're building views, and that one's are particularly getting quite a bit of views. And I'm continuing with that one, so some 3.0, whatever, it's coming out every time. But all our life, we knew that if we want to succeed in the industry, P is not the place. And I've seen people on platforms come, and I just want to put it out there. There's nothing wrong with P. I love P. I told you now this inside.
we
also.
both.
I love P. I don't think there's anything wrong with P. P is just a much more smaller town.
Yeah.
So for a business to grow, unfortunately,
100%.
we need to move out.
You're right.
And craziest thing again, I had to come start over again in Cape Town. When I moved up, I didn't have a Clint L name when I moved up. So I threw myself again in. One friend I knew at I built, obviously, because we started doing events. Because before COVID, we were doing some sort of events in Cape Town. But just here now and in Radisson Red rooftop, 200 people, 150 people, not much, but just trying to get the name out there. And then after COVID, we started again with that. And because I left my job, I had nothing else to do at home. I was like, let me just throw myself again in the deep end. I come out of it now already.
Yeah.
It's nothing worse is gonna happen. Worst case scenario, doesn't work out for me there, I come back to my mom and I start over again.
Yeah.
My mom always has the door open for me, you know.
Yeah.
And I threw myself in the deep end, came up to Cape Town, and I started doing the hard work, started playing all over, getting my name in here and there. Luckily, I had some sort of database because of the YouTube stuff.
Yes. And also, there's a lot of people from PE in Cape
Yes,
Town.
yes. So initially, Sup and Show was for the PE people in Cape Town.
Yeah.
And then that just started growing, and Cape Town people started liking it. And then playing here, playing there, getting to know the networking side of the network of Cape Town, understanding who's who, working with the skak means, working with the good means, starting over.
Figuring it out.
Figuring it out. And it took a year or so, and I started pushing, and then, just kind of gradually grew.
Yeah.
Then, obviously, having my events, I had 14 stories, 100 people, 150 people, you make a 5 grand, you make a 8 grand. So, but at the time, I'm making 8 grand, but my DJs are costing me 5,000-6,000 rand.
Oof.
You know, so I'm barely making money. I have rent at the end of the month. I have this, I have that. I must sustain myself being here.
Yeah.
You know? And I was like, but I can DJ for 5-6 hours. This was built around. I never post a lineup. I post a lineup on the day of the event or the day before the event. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to post the event and I'm going to DJ all night for them.
One way.
1 way.
Need
6 hours.
It's a one-man show.
So 1 minute.
Yeah.
So 6 hours was first Sup and Show. And then the first Sup and Show.
To save yourself the money.
Because I needed the money.
Yes.
And the first Sup and Show happens, and I have about on them thinking that there's quite a bit of DJs. It happens. I have 100 people. So people enjoy themselves. I'm like, nah, man, this actually works. Let me start my first one-man show. That's where the one-man show, because the one-man show concept's always been out there. You have one-man shows in the comic, in the comedian industry. You have one-man shows in our industry. So the name has always been out. It was never owned by anybody.
Okay.
You know, the one-man show itself.
Yeah.
And then I was like, let me do a one-man show with Clint L. People really enjoyed it now the other day. First one-man show, I have like 40 people. I lose like 10K.
Lose 10K?
Yeah, but the 40 people really enjoy themselves.
Yeah.
Like they really, really enjoy it.
Yeah.
And then just from that 2022, when I start, 2021, in middle 2021 into 2022, it is now every month I'm doing this one-man shows and it's starting to build more. From 40 people, it goes to 70 people. From 70 people, it goes to 120 people. I move it to Hotel Sky. Those two from 120 people now, I can take 200 people capacity because 14 stories wasn't that big at the time. Or it's still not that big concert at the time. 200 people, and Hotel Sky just continues booming and boom. Every time I'm having one, it's like 300 people, 350 people. And then it just became too big. And then I was actually making some sort of money.
Yeah.
But actually, that time I was making more money than I'm making now. You'll get into it now, I'm explaining to you now.
Yeah.
So I'm making actually money that time. And with this, me building this one-man show, the rest of South Africa is seeing it through the platform. I'm recording actual YouTube videos at the event. It's 5.0. It's one of the most famous ones now that's out there. And people around the country are seeing this. And event promoters are seeing this. And club owners are seeing this. And the bookings just start coming in. Just start coming in.
Private bookings for clubs.
So I don't do private stuff.
At all?
At all. I only do commercial. Because of the industry when we am in now, the social industry is much more important. Yes. I will go over to the corporate side and the private side, but just at the moment now, I can't. Like, I'd rather be building my name or building my brand much more in the social industry than to come play for a wedding or something. Nothing wrong with playing for a wedding.
I get what you're saying, like, but you already sort of passed it. The only way that it makes sense for you is if it pays a fortune.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because what we do, it's the same for me. I don't mind doing a corporate event. I do them. I did one last week. But the idea is always to do what we love to do, is to be in front of the audience.
And with my music, I resonate with the crowd in front of me. It doesn't feel like a job when I go play.
100%.
Corporate feels very much like a job because there's so much.
Because you're forced on those people.
Yes, and there's
Not
so much
everyone
different
there loves
personalities there.
R&B.
Now you must change your whole identity.
Yeah.
It's paying good, but it's not building a brand for you.
And sometimes you can walk away feeling empty.
Yeah. So anyway, so the bookings just start coming in, and I realize I need a manager now.
Yeah.
Because I can't be dealing with these people straight, you know.
Yeah.
And I get a manager, and from the time I get a manager, it's like
Day and night. Bezig.
It's just it doesn't stop.
Yeah.
And it doesn't stop, and now I'm getting more bookings, and now I'm like, nah, but look, there's so much demand now I need to up the price. Like, obviously, Clint L is not me alone. This, like I said, I didn't get
I think I was the one that told you to up your price. Weren't we at the airport? I said, stuur jou prijs op, jy kan nie so werk nie.
He's the guy that's
I just felt that I saw you at the airport. and it was in your peak season, and it was peak season for both of us.
Yeah.
And then I said, "Oh, I'm just flying," and I think I had like 2 flights that week, which is a lot. Then you said, "No, bruh, I've got like 5 or 6. I'm in a different city every day." Then I said, that's not sustainable. That is too
Still
much,
didn't stop though.
dude. So what does a busy week look like for Clint L?
Busy week, because I have to be home. I'm half in Cape Town, half in P.
Yeah.
So I go home now and then. But every weekend I'm out.
Yeah,
Every weekend. Sometimes, especially with international duty, but it can't be during the week or so. International duty takes quite a bit of time.
what's international duty?
So playing overseas. I
Okay.
call it international duty.
So you fly out.
fly out. So especially with the flights out from South Africa, like we did to Dubai or when I done New Zealand.
How often
Australia.
are you doing those international?
Dubai for now it's been every month.
Yeah.
I'll put like a residency. And
So you out there every month.
yeah, but I haven't been there now because I prioritized with my one-man show and that happened now past and stuff. So I couldn't go that weekend, but I'm going now in June again. I
Okay.
would
Is it primarily Dubai?
Dubai and Abu
Because I
Dhabi.
have seen you do Australia, New Zealand.
So I love Australia and I love
Yeah.
New Zealand, but because of the visa, look, it's a very expensive task to get me there. I fully understand.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, you by yourself. So I understand the promoter
Yeah.
side of it because I, as me being obviously my brand, I can't go along to certain places like these.
Yeah.
Especially when I go to far places like this, I
Yeah.
need to have some sort of people and to pay for 2-3 flights and
It's a
visas
fortune.
for them.
You're looking at, listen, return flights. The cheap return flights is 30K these
Yeah.
days. So if it's 3 people, it's 90,000 Rand for flights. Accommodation, food.
And the
food,
visa.
The visa itself. What does that visa go for
I
now?
think it's
10
10,000
grand.
New Zealand dollars. So that's about what 100,000 rand.
This is a klomp geld.
That's a lot of
a
money. So
fuck.
I fully understand.
And then
They
you need,
really
it's also the admin on it. It's the people must invite you. You must show
get-
proof at the border that
send
you are
your
coming.
send your bank statements in.
Then they slap you with tax there. Then you must get a tax. I've got a tax consultant in Australia to get my tax out of Australia. Then I must pay him 5,000 Rand to get my money out that they took that they shouldn't have taken. Then I get to South Africa. Then they slap me here with a tax again. Then you start going, yo.
That is expensive. So I fully understand.
Yeah.
There is a demand for it, but it's just pricey for them. I would like to go again soon, but like I say, I fully understand the whole that. But primarily it's just Dubai because Dubai is so quick. Dubai is like little 8 hours up, 8 hours down. You get
Yes.
your visa in a day's time. You
Yeah.
don't need work visas. You don't. They invite you to buy one more people to come every time.
Yes.
Sorry. So
So
where were we? What sidetracked? I think.
No, we spoke about
The
just
price upping and stuff. Yeah.
you pushed. What was a busy week look like?
Yeah, so it depends international duty, but every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm somewhere.
Busy.
Yeah, 2 gigs every Friday, 2 gigs predominantly every Saturday. It depends on,
Yeah.
basically. But it's crazy. It hasn't stopped.
So what I want to also just pick on here, because I never get somebody from where I come from. Talking about 100K for 3 people to go overseas, talking about the numbers we're talking about. Where we come from, when you speak like this, because people don't, or people have access to a lesser degree, and not just where we come from, all over South Africa, it's a lot of money. People go, nee, break, is windgat, is die.
No.
But what people need to understand is he just said he was making 8 grand, paying 5.5 grand. You have to be scrappy to keep building it up so that you have the runway to be able to pay for these things as they grow. So like you can't just take the gigs money and chow it.
No, like I was explaining, so the events happens and this starts and upping my price and all that stuff. And I'm making money because it's not much cost involved, especially in a venue. It's
Yeah.
literally just 4 altos, a bun, 2 buns, you sort it in ticks. And 1 security or whatever. But then I was making the right money. And now I'm growing it, I'm taking it further. The one-man show is going further, it's growing, and I decided to have a picnic.
Yeah.
Never knew I decided for 1,000 people. I thought, because at the time I was on about 600-700 scale, and I wanted to scale it to 1,000.
Yeah.
And doing that, I have this picnic last year
Is this in Cape Town?
in Cape Town, near the Berg, Paul.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I do this picnic, and I pull like 2,000 and something people.
Oof, nice.
It looks amazing, and now the picnic is something. I do a picnic again end of October. Same, 2,000, 3,000, 2,500 people, one in October.
Yeah.
Done one now, 2 weeks ago, to 2,200 people. right?
Yeah.
Sounds beautiful on paper.
Yes.
It sounds beautiful.
Yeah. People
Go to the
multiply.
paper.
They go, oh, it's 250 rand a ticket times that.
Times that.
Yeah.
My recent one, and I'm very open to
Yeah.
and I like people to understand the analytics behind and
I
understand.
agree with that.
My recent event cost me the one that I had now because I'm so invested in kind of building this, because everyone I've been to, you can ask the consumer, it's upped its game every time. Stage, everything is just crazy. This one I've done now cost me roughly 950,000 rand.
Oof, it's R1 million, bruh.
I only made 900,000 rand. I lost the 50,000 rand.
You lost 50K.
And people are like, oh, look at this, there must be money. But I don't have any sponsors. I'm still fully funded myself. The sponsors are, they are just giving me infrastructure. Infrastructure is nothing. So
Dude.
I'm sitting and it looks, and don't get me wrong, I see profits.
That's amazing.
I don't
There's
see
potential
profits
in
I don't see profits necessarily only in cash.
Yeah.
Profits in is brand credibility, as a credibility boost or so.
Yeah.
It's all of that stuff.
Yes.
Broadening your target audience.
You're a big brand.
Big brand.
You're
So
a brand people can count on.
but now people don't understand that analytics behind it, and the logistics behind it. So
Yeah.
I like to give people a bit more insight on that.
I also do, and I heard a quote that said that if you're in a room and you speak about big ideas and people think you're bragging, you're in the wrong room. So this is for me such a refreshing thing, especially for both boys coming from Eastern Cape. 950K is a lot. I'd be vomiting in the, you know what I mean, in the car on the way there. You've obviously built up, and when you say you self-sponsored, I want to ask you this. I still struggle to get sponsorships. Nice. I struggle. I don't even bother anymore. I tried at one point and then I went, I'll just self-fund. And so I don't know how these Owens, when I see these posters and I see all these sponsors, I go, two things. I don't know how you got those sponsors.
What's about you know?
And I was in marketing, bruh. And number two, people they have in their heads, these are the things that we go for. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't want to speculate and make it, because it's so easy to make it a race thing. There's white guys that struggle with the same problem. But I have to self-fund everything. And when you self-fund everything, it's high risk and you have to be all in. And just listen to what he just said. He lost 50K on a 950,000 rand gig. So you're like, but the nice thing that you, and not a lot of people get that you understand is that there's value in the brand building exercise, and there's just a tweak. Often it's one step away from good profit.
I've come to terms, I've noticed it used to make me very sour. The sponsorship thing used to make me very sour. I'll sit and look at other people's events. Now at the moment, if you're going to sponsor me, look, I'm very, how can I say, I'm very, what's the proper word? Strict. Is strict the proper word? Yes, strict is the proper word. I'm very strict when it comes to, and especially after every event, I'm very strict when it comes to sponsorship. So I'm not just going to let you come on board. Yeah. You can offer me 50,000 rand. It's nothing wow for me. I'm going to be very honest with you.
Yeah.
I'm very strict when it comes to that. So I'm waiting. If it doesn't come, it doesn't come. But like I say, when I do one-man show now, and I've unfortunately accepted the fact that it's not a money-making exercise for me. I'm going to lose. Look, my primary is my DJing to play every weekend for and stuff.
Yes.
And
that keeps you going.
That keeps you going, and it's funding.
Yeah.
It's funding this one-man shows and stuff.
Yeah.
But my time will come. If a sponsor comes, it comes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's not going to make my brand stop. Yeah. It's not going to make me grow my brand. It's not going to stop me anyway in doing what I need to do in order for my brand to get where I need it to get. Because the moment you start relying on that, it can break. That's happened to me already. Whereas I rely on a sponsor giving me this amount, and when it doesn't come in, I feel like
it doesn't.
Because I already made plans with that money in my head. Already, because the thing is, and this is how events are supposed to work. If you get R1 million from a sponsor, that R1 million goes into your event. Yes. Whether the event was going to cost you 500,000 rand,
you make the event amazing.
You make the event R1 million worth of event.
Yeah.
So certain times I've had people, and I've had my own capital that I've had, and now I think that because the sponsor's giving me X amount, I can add it on and make the event how it's supposed to be. And you come a week before and like, we spoke about budget cuts and this and that.
Sorry,
and
we
like,
can't
sorry,
give you
we
that.
can't.
We can only give you 50.
Don't care what you have on email. Don't care what you're going to do about it. So I've just
You've already
stopped it.
promised
I've
people a show.
stopped it. I've like completely stopped. Even after this one, I'm very unhappy with certain things that took place from my brand's perspective. And I'm cutting it. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you're giving me.
Yeah.
The thing is, I don't call, and I hate calling my fans because I call ourselves a community.
Yeah.
I just play for my community, and because without them, I'm nothing.
Yeah.
You know. So my community, I have them. They're very loyal to me. There was this whole thing that happened on social media. I think you messaged me a few months ago.
Yes.
I didn't need to say anything.
Yeah.
My community had my
They
back.
stand, yeah.
They stood. I'm very happy with them. I'm very proud of the community I have now. So I can take them if I want to take them.
Yeah.
If I need to go somewhere else with them, I don't care what you offer me. You know, and I think that is the pride I have when it comes to that.
You know what, Clint? For two things, we need to spend more time together. Because the things you've said is exactly the issues I have. We come from the same neck of the woods.
Yeah.
We have the same we have the same exact issues. Like the only thing that I can see that's different is that you are way deeper in terms of costs. My shows aren't that big and that expensive to run.
You
But
never know, bro.
the whole sponsorship thing, same experience. I go, I can't be bitter because sponsors don't want to come on. It shifts my thinking around how I must just pour the best into my audience. Also, sponsorships often come with, they think they can say things on your show. You know, no, can we put a poster on and we put a poster on the wall behind you? You know, that's not going to happen. So the very few people have brands have the insight to understand the value without imposing themselves aggressively onto your stuff. So that's why I also sort of steered away. And because I've given up on sponsors, just like you, I've been a happier person.
No, you have to be.
I'm a happier person. I've got an audience. There's an auntie and an uncle that paid their hard-earned money, that dressed up, that's coming to the show tonight. And that, to me, is the most valuable thing.
And you need to be tuned in with that.
Yeah, I can't be here worried because somebody else didn't give me a sponsorship.
I've grown, even the one-man show brand now, when it comes to events, I've given so much away of the brand. When it comes to profit shares and all this, I've given so much away so I can focus more on what I need to do.
Yeah.
So on the day, I don't need to worry about, is the stage set up? I don't need to worry about, is the bar going good? I've given people certain things to run that for me. And for that, I've given up some of the event or so.
Yeah.
But so that I can focus purely on my people because they feed off me at the end of the day.
Okay.
So that is just on the day I come there, I come an hour before I must play. And I'm not there from the morning. I've been banned. I can't go even the day before anymore because I want to make changes and you know. So I've been banned, but I'm going the day before and on the day. I must just come, do my thing. And I'm so fortunate enough to have the team I have. Yeah. Because even the guys in Suspension, I was explaining to you just now, within that guys, there's about 5 or 6 of us that know each other for 20 odd years.
Yeah, there's a lot of trust there.
We are friends before anything else. There's nothing that can break us. We're 20 years together. There's nothing that can break us.
Yeah.
So they understand my journey. They're very proud of me. There's not an evil eye within that. So I represent them. They represent me. You will see. Hopefully you can come to a one-man show one day. And you will see them behind me. They are behind me.
I've seen the videos.
Yeah. You'll see them sitting there. There's times when they know they must come up to the stage. I put the stage behind me just for them.
Yeah.
No one else. They can have the time of their life.
Yeah.
I don't care. Because everybody, it's a whole connected thing. It's not necessarily of just about Clint L. Or Clint Lochenberg, let me say it like that. Clint L is everybody that's there behind him and that's built it to where it is now.
I like the way you talk, man. I like the passion. I think that I understand why it's been so successful. It's because you don't necessarily, you think about the commercials because they're important, but you are very passionate about what you do. And that is always the number one thing, where the thing, because you know how this business is. You make it, you lose it, you make it, you lose it. I'm going into a new one-man show now. I don't know if it's going to work. You know, it's always some sort of a gamble, but I'm very passionate about the stand-up, right? And I see that in you, and I think that's probably, when I've had a couple of people here, that's the ingredient that makes it work.
No, definitely.
And then, you know, the exploration within that and trying to get better all the time.
I think that the whole look, I think both of us from the culture we come from, and I think I'm more. It's a bit of a tricky thing to say because I don't mean any harm at.
Yeah.
But I've been so focused on the culture itself, number one, necessarily because we don't have the role models and role players within our culture that
Yeah.
represents us on the
Yeah.
stages that we need to be represented on. Number two, if you really want to come and enjoy the experience, it needs to be my experience.
Yeah.
I'm not going to adapt into what you think my experience should be. Like
Yeah.
even with my shows and the events I do personally, I unfortunately can't handle a booking of what that experience is. And there's a big line. There's a big line that divides the two.
Yeah.
If you're booking me as a DJ,
Yeah.
I'm just coming in to play an hour and a half, whatever is
Yeah.
agreed upon on contract. Everything further from that is it's an extension of what I
Yes.
came to do, you know.
Yeah.
So
You're hired gun for that
I
hour.
can't, and that's where the consumer gets confused because I cannot control that experience as much as I try.
Yeah.
That person has that event promoter, that club owner has their own way of thinking and own way of doing it.
Yeah.
The only things I can control is my own events.
Yes.
But if you are a person that is 40, 45, 35, because that my target market, if I look
Yeah.
at now it's from 30 to about 50. I have very old people. as
Actually,
well.
it lines up.
Yeah, it lines up here. So if you like chilling in your garage, watching me on YouTube, listening to Sweet Oldies 2.0,
Yeah.
drinking out of your cooler box, please do that.
Yeah.
Don't come expect that experience by my one-man show
Okay.
because you're going to have a sour experience.
Yeah.
You know, I
Yeah.
always encourage it. I want people that are very open-minded, that understand what the spaces like that is, the industry is. You can't just bring anything in. You
Yeah.
can't just sit anywhere.
No. Yeah.
If people like watching you on your show and that's what they like doing, sitting under their blanket with their girlfriend or their wife or whatever,
Yeah.
rather than do
Bless
that,
you.
if it's taking you out of your comfort zone
Yeah.
and coming to a place where you expect it to be
Yeah.
like it is there. So I rather encourage you, rather stay at home. If
Yeah.
you're expecting me just to play Sweet Oldies 2.0 or expecting me just to play like 90s, rather stay at home. Listen to
Yes.
it at home.
Yes.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing.
Nothing at all. But you're going to make, for the consumer itself, I don't care about myself.
Yeah.
But we cannot make my consumer uncomfortable. And obviously, it's every event, we do events
Yeah.
itself. Every event has different challenges and different things we need to overcome and understand. But I just encourage the fact that if event spaces and the industry and socializing is not for you and extroverted stuff, what do we call them? Ambivert. I call myself an ambivert. Sometimes I like to be introverted, sometimes I like to be extroverted. My job is an extroverted job. But if you're very introverted and you like what you want, then rather have that.
100%. I couldn't agree with you more. I also have that experience where, and I think my audience at large, our audiences appreciate that. Absolutely. If you like watching Alfred, Adriaan little videos on your phone or you're watching my special on TV, great. But when you step out into a social space, it's going to be different. And my live shows are different. They are different. I tend to go places that you wouldn't normally see me go online.
Yeah.
It's not very far from where I am, but it's a bespoke, different live experience. You can't also come to my thing and think, like you said, jy gaan kom sit daar so in ras en skree. Bouncers are gonna bounce you. And you can go on to it all you want.
I don't care.
The reality of it is, it's not just about you. It's about the 15 people around you that have paid full price to have a good experience, and now you ruining it.
Exactly.
Ek gaat vir jou bounce. I've bounced women at my shows. Very rarely because I've got a great audience, but you're 100% right in that. And I go, people must figure out what they like about it. But I still encourage them to come to a live show because I think that you are missing such a trick if you don't just at least try it once. Because no two live shows, no two live shows are different. It's a different experience and it's curated by me. That thing that you spoke about earlier, there is a reason why no one, any public facing, it's a little different from what you guys do because you have to play in a club and every public facing show I do, I produce exclusively. I never ever let anybody produce a show to my audience. I've said no to a lot of things, a lot of money, because I go, I can't get there and then the lights aren't right, the seat isn't right. If it's wrong, it's my fault. I've had those experiences where it's been wrong and it was my fault. But I don't like when people email me all the time and go, hey man, I want you to come and perform at my restaurant. I don't perform at restaurants because the coffee machine is on while I'm telling jokes. I don't do that. This is different. My audience mean too much to me.
Yes.
My private shows, you can only book me for corporate events.
Yeah.
Corporate events, private events. Then I'll come and I'll do your thing to your people, but you've paid
still have a
for
vetting
everyone
or
to
so.
enjoy this. No one's bought tickets and there's no promotion involved. But I completely aligned with you on these things. That being said, now Egila, I don't want to have the last word. The question I have is the final question I'm gonna send you off with, and I want you to come back here, please.
Yeah.
Because I think there's a lot more to explore, and I want you to come back here when we bring people from PE in here. I
Yeah.
think
No,
it's gonna be
definitely. That
valuable.
will be like a fun.
Like, because I see Too Smooth, Russell.
Russell,
and them.
yeah. It was
Nah.
with him 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
Russell Rainsberg, Russell's Too Smooth Productions.
Yeah.
Russell came to my 16th birthday. Mutta duck taxi. It's a different story, but he brings Klebo and all this. If the opportunity comes past that I'd like you to be here as well. But anyway, my question is how have you, and this is my final thing, it's probably a long answer, permits, bar. People are it's so difficult at these events to get your own bar, even though you bring the audience in, and government permits. I have friends, Afrikaans friends, white friends, black friends, all these guys struggling with those kinds of things. How did you navigate that space? Do you have people helping you? How does that work?
In PE, when we started doing outdoor events,
Yeah.
we kind of grew to that. I needed to understand it. I needed to understand the law behind it, the law side, the public liability, your noise certification, your noise pollution, population certificate, your SAPS approval, all of these small things. I fortunately learned that time when I was in PE.
Okay.
In the moment I migrated over to Cape Town, I obviously didn't have the network base I had in PE, but I kind of knew still what I needed to get sorted and stuff. So you get venues where you pay your venues X amount and they give you the venue, try hire, you do whatever you need to do on it, but all the logistics and permits and stuff is on you. So there's a few places, event solutions I think we work with now, but I have a partner with In One Man Show that he took over this. Because like I said, I don't want to get
It's a lot of
I
admin,
understand it. I understand it. You need
And
a
they
health
can
safety
shut you
officer.
down if it's wrong.
Yeah, no, anything. So we've public liability now. Luckily this year we found a nick into paying upfront for 3 events. We already have 3 events sorted, so we paid upfront. Cost us a bit more cheaper, but you must apply for noise pollution. You must apply for public liability, not public liability. Population certificate. You must get SAPS approval. There must be enough toilets. There must be enough cleaners. There must be enough security. Security must be, I forget the thing, Sikra, Micra, something like that. There must be approved by that people, all securities. Then you must have a engineer to come sign off if you have tents and structures and stuff.
Yeah.
Then you need a COC for all your what do you call this? Generators and stuff. Because it's an outdoor event. You bring your own electricity. I've become so used to load shedding.
Yeah.
That all my events, I don't care if it is a 3-phase for us.
Yeah.
I bring a Jenny cost me 6,000-7,000 rand. It's not gonna break the budget. I know for sure I'm sorted for the night.
Yes.
You know. Then there's the vendors that you have. They need to have their own vendor license. They must have it's a lot of small logistics when it comes to that stuff. Luckily for us, we've built now Gqeberha. We've done 3 there, so it's a plug and play thing. People understand what we're applying for, liquor license, all of that jazz. But going over always to a new venue is very tricky because you don't know the red tape there.
Yeah.
You kind of build your own carte blanche by a place where you've already been there quite a few times. By Gqeberha, like I say, I've been there a few times. We understand what we can do, but especially in the Western Cape, I would suggest continue doing stuff around the perimeter. Don't go into town.
Is it?
Don't go into
challenging.
town. Don't go into Sea Point, Green Point.
Yeah.
The red tape is this thick.
Dude, you already just mentioned so many things. I only deal with like security, public liability, because the venues are theaters. So they got their fire certifications, there's paramedics, there's all that stuff's already in place. But all these things that you're talking about,
no,
it's expensive as well.
It's expensive. Yeah. Look, the biggest thing is production for me. I purposely spend a lot of production. I work with Orders now. Very big shout out to them. I've worked with a lot of production companies. Orders they've hit every nail on for me. It cost me not even quite a bit. It was a very fair amount that I paid them, and they came out and they done exactly what I wanted them to do.
Okay.
It's very difficult to find production companies like that, you know.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest expense, and then all the small expenses. I mean, our bar staff cost us 120,000 rand, just the bar staff itself.
How many bar staff do you have to have at those
Quite
things?
a bit. Because I want
20, 30
because
people.
efficiency
Because those
is big.
bars, otherwise the bars, people get frustrated,
efficiency
angry.
is big, and
Yeah.
people stop buying if there's long lines or so.
Yeah.
So we wanted much efficiency, so we can make as much as at the bar as possible.
Yeah.
But our people don't drink like they used to. I don't know what's happening.
It's a weird thing that this generation, also the younger people are drinking much less.
But
It's a stat now. People are
It's
stopped
more,
drinking.
but look, the whole industry has changed. I remember when we started, especially cards, bottles were a thing, but because you were this amount of people.
Yeah.
It wasn't necessarily because you wanted to buy a bottle. And it wasn't, I remember Red Dot used to be our go-to.
Yeah.
Red Dot around
It's
that.
cheaper
was
to buy the
cheaper to
bottle.
buy the bottle than
Yeah.
that. But now bottle service, and I sit in my industry, and unfortunately also fall into that now, where I'm much more comfortable sitting by my table and ordering a few bottles and going to the bar the whole time.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I think that's where we lost a bit on the margins when it comes to money making.
Of course.
But yeah, it's just the event itself, the event logistics itself behind it. It's crazy. Like I'm learning more and more now. I'm doing these type of events and getting just to the $1 million marks for how much the event cost me. Now I'm looking at the biggest scale events and I'm like, yeah, I need to get there now still. Because my initial plan was that my first one I had the Black Ties on Chad Simon. Them.
Yeah.
They were on my initial plan with one man show was to turn it into almost a because I'm not interactive with my crowd. My music speaks for me. I don't speak on the mic at all. So I needed some people to be interactive with my crowd. And Chad, Black Ties.
Oh, they're great.
They
great.
fold in. It was such a void they fold in.
And also Chad, Kino, the great guys.
All of them.
Yeah.
All of them. So I only knew Chad at the time, but I met everybody now
Yeah.
when I was there. Then now I'm looking at adding more bands, having some sort of more interactiveness between the crowd and the people on the stage. But my end goal, and this is my end goal where I'm like, I'm done with one show,
Yeah.
is to kind of start getting international acts on board.
Okay.
And that's where I'm working towards. You know?
Okay.
So getting your Joes, your Tamias, your Monicas, all the stuff I play,
Yes.
especially that type of music. And integrating them within one man show and having that full experience for the consumer to have now.
I look forward to that.
No,
It feels like a very natural progression. I look forward to that. I can't wait to see that.
I would suggest to people, and I always say it to I'm still a young cat, so I don't want to say the young cats, but the guys that's coming up at where they are now in these stages of doing events and stuff. Don't try to take a big leap. Don't move from 1,000 people to 10,000 people.
No.
Because there's so much other else logistics there is between that two that you need to first fill in. So my journey I've been wanting to jump from, it's like I said, I went from 200 to 400, from 400 to 600, from 600 I went to 1,000. The biggest jump I took was from 1,000 to 2,000.
Yeah.
But now I've been constant on 2,000 purposefully. And from this, at the end of this year only, I'm going to move over to 4,000 people. But within that, I must also have some sort of growth with the brand and the event itself. And hence me wanting to bring on more interactive. But just don't do a big jump.
Yeah.
You will shoot yourself in the foot because you will prep for 10,000 people, and 10,000 people event is going to cost you 5 million rand.
Yeah.
But then you only bring 1,000 people.
And that happens. I couldn't agree with you more. In COVID, when one of my events was cancelled, I have a rule with Natalie. If we can't lose everything and still pay the bills, then I don't do the show. But it's easier for me to do than for you, because it's me and an audience. It's not necessarily all that logistics. But I absolutely understand what you're saying, because it can cripple you, it can break you.
I went into COVID. I had an event where I lost. Obviously, the event wasn't that big scale because it was in PD and it was so much people. But I owed these people going in. The event start of March, 21st of March, I hit COVID. I lost. I didn't have the money because at the time with Sip and Show, and you asked how I generated these funds, I was selling physical tickets. So you would give me your money, and that money will go into the event. Because I didn't have. And the moment something happens with that event, I'm fucked. Because my consumer wants their money.
Yes.
And my service provider wants their money.
Oh, and you need both for the next show.
Both, bro. The consumer is the biggest thing, obviously.
Yeah.
And you're going to refund. But I'm sitting here with a 30,000, 40,000 rand debt. And for me, at that time, it was crazy.
Dude, it's a lot of money.
What's the fuck?
When you have nothing.
When you have nothing.
Nothing coming
Which
also.
I
The
still see it
horizon
as a
is
lot of
empty.
money. Like I said, I was making more money with my events when I was doing the stuff at Hotel Sky than what I am now. I've not made money from this one-man show Nederburg stuff yet up to this day. I've been breaking even. I've made a little bit. And when I say a little bit, I mean in the business side of it. I've only made out of the 3, maybe 100,000 rand.
That's wild. Of events that have made millions.
We had 6,000
altogether.
people through all together.
That's wild. And I think that this is the perspective we need and to understand when it comes to these events and bigger business. And there's moments of growth and there's just like farming, man. There's a state of saad in te sit and there's time to come and harvest. And you still very much, and you go through stages of that. There's very much still a part of you that has to put a seed in the ground. And then it grows, but it's not ready to take out yet.
Yeah, we will have one day. We will have someone who come sit again here, and we will have to say, "Nah, this brand took it or that brand took it."
Yeah,
but you see, like we say, we're very strict on this. So you can take my brand, but you're taking me with it.
Yeah.
I'm still going to be the curator of this event.
Yeah.
I'm still going to be the event organizer of this event. I'm still going to have the last say of it. And brands feel because they take it by you, then they can do what they want to with it. No,
Not after all this sacrifice.
then get your people, and you have your own event, and get your own 2,000-3,000 people, and
You go out there.
go for it.
Good luck.
Good luck, yeah. But for now, and it's been a bit shitty from my side, and I felt a bit shitty from the one-man show, because I feel like I'm self-funding events for these brands.
Yeah.
You know? And
Yeah.
they're sending it into the head office, and it's looking sweet, and
Yeah.
I'm the one sitting having to scrap up with this one. I'm still pay this one. I'm still pay that
Yeah.
one. Having to throw in favors. It's a bit shitty.
It
So
is
I've
shitty.
stopped.
Yeah.
From now on, it's a very recent thing. It's not something that I've been doing.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm trying to also as a person just trying to do better for
Yeah.
the brand, and that is my main thing now. I've stopped that because it's a shitty thing for us. You're just
100%.
sitting on millions.
Yeah.
We're sitting on nothing actually at the moment.
Yeah,
I'm literally making ends meet still up to this day.
Yeah.
With all my 2,000-3,000 people I'm getting, with all the people I'm playing for, but living a better life. My base is a bit more higher now.
Yeah.
Of my life, I have a better place that I'm staying in. All these things, but it's not. It's what I'm giving is not what I'm getting.
Yes.
Yet.
Yet.
I don't want it now. The longer it takes, the better for me.
Yes. It's just not. I hear what you're saying. Listen. Thank you so much.
No, thank you so much.
And this was
I
fun.
appreciate it. Yeah, it was a,
I
it was
like
a talk.
No, that's why we are.
That was a
This is
talk,
about educating people about what's really happening behind the scenes. And I've been very fortunate to have people like yourself come in and be very open. When you are open, then it creates an opportunity for the audience to learn what's going on beyond the veil. Because it's such, especially in entertainment, it's so glitzy and glam that people think everything is always amazing. And it is amazing, but there are sacrifices.
No, there has to be. Yeah.
But anyway, dankie meneer.
meneer, man.
Lekker, kyk eens of jy by.
Vir die boue.
Boue, werk ou.